I was secretly married to the Echelon's heir for 2 years before Marcus even remembered he had an engagement with me. When he came to see me, he made a show of presenting $900,000 in cash as a substantial gift for the family, which was quite ostentatious. Grace, don't worry. Lily gave birth to a girl. Although she's listed as mine, she'll never take our child's place as heir. See, I settled things with her and rushed over to keep my promise to marry you. I said nothing, just gazed at him calmly. He stepped closer and said, "Are you speechless with joy? Or are you still holding a grudge? Grace, you have to believe me. You're the only one I've ever loved. Everything I have will go to our child. Lily and her child were an accident. Don't worry. I've arranged the grand castle wedding you always wanted. How about we get married next month?" Watching him prattle on, I said, "Martha, please escort this patient out. It's truly laughable. My daughter is destined to be the heir to the most prestigious family in the Echelon. Who would care about his paltry $900,000? Marcus looked at me, a smile playing on his lips, his gaze as deep as the ocean. "Grace, you still have that strong personality. It's quite appealing." The next second, his tone shifted. "But is timid, so don't scare her. She cries easily, and too much crying could hurt her eyes. Anyway, you're my legitimately married wife. Lily can't possibly compete with you, so can't you be a little more lenient with her? Perhaps because Ethan has spoiled me for 2 years. My temper isn't as fiery anymore." Seeing his overconfident demeanor, I wasn't even angry. "Didn't it ever occur to you that I'm married? That I'm married into the family?" Marcus's face darkened as he said, "Grace, you know some jokes shouldn't be made with me. We're childhood sweethearts. Who else would you marry besides me? Grace, I know Lily's presence upset you, but you're already 26 or 7. Could an unmarried woman your age still marry someone of my status and appearance?" I was somewhat speechless. I never imagined that. In his eyes, I was worthless apart from my looks. Lily was a student our family sponsored. I originally felt sorry for her and took extra care of her. I never expected that, while drunk that day, I'd accidentally mistake her for you. But it's also your fault. We were together for years, and you never let me touch you. I was young and full of vigor. It's perfectly normal that I couldn't hold back. All right, you haven't contacted me for 2 years, but I don't mind. I can tolerate your occasional moodiness." As he spoke, he conjured a rose and handed it to me. "You love roses, so I thought I'd give you one every day from now on. That way, our love will flow gently and eternally, never to be separated." I looked at him with amusement. "I do like roses, but I prefer double-petal roses." He kept claiming he held me in his heart, but in truth, he never gave me his genuine affection. Seeing my silence, Marcus's eyes softened, believing I was touched. "Grace, I know your feelings for me. I know you're strong-willed and care about appearances. Don't worry. Next month's grand wedding will absolutely dazzle everyone." I didn't give him a glance, simply dialed 911. "I have someone who appears to be schizophrenic trespassing in my home. Please remove him as soon as possible." Hearing this, Marcus laughed, snatched my phone, and hung up. "Grace, I knew you still cared for me. You always loved joking with me. Don't worry. Marcus, will marry no one but you in this lifetime." At his words, I couldn't help but roll my eyes. "Martha, have the bodyguards throw him and his paltry sum of money out onto the street. Oh, and tell his family he's asking for trouble by trying to marry Ethan's wife." After was driven away, I thought we would never see each other again. A few days later, my girlfriends invited me to the mall for some shopping. After getting tired of shopping, we went for afternoon tea and ran into Marcus. He had a look on his face that suggested he thought I was playing hard to get. "Grace, I knew you still liked to follow me around, just like before." His tone was doting, laced with a smug tenderness. "Even though we're getting married, you don't need to keep such a close eye on me. It's not like I'm going to run off." I looked at him with disgust and turned to leave. He strode over and blocked my path. "Grace, this really isn't the place for someone of your standing to have afternoon tea. The clientele here are all extremely wealthy or influential, and you need a membership. No matter how much your family dotes on you, they wouldn't let you spend $2 million to get a membership, would they? I really don't want you to squander money like this for me and upset your family. My mother indeed dislikes extravagance and waste, but our family business has been doing so well recently. Our assets have far surpassed what they once were. Besides, I have Ethan's unlimited black." I sighed, utterly exasperated, and said, Are you done making a scene? Aren't your family taking you to see a doctor? My attitude provoked him, and he said impatiently, Grace, let's stop pretending, shall we? If it weren't to track me down, would you really splurge to come here? All right, stop sulking. Lily is indeed in my private room. I'll take you there. You don't need to be jealous. Before he could finish, Lily walked out. She shyly called out to me, Grace. Then she tugged Marcus's arm and said delicately, Grace is so beautiful. You can tell she's a true socialite. I'll bless you both, and I hope Grace will like me. I looked at her coldly. Grace, are you still upset? I'm sorry. I'm an only child, I stated. Immediately, the bodyguard accompanying me moved to pull Lily away. Marcus exploded on the spot. Grace, you're going too far. Do you really think you're some grand young lady? How dare you have your bodyguards lay a hand on her? I stared directly at him and said, This is my place. Why wouldn't I dare? Marcus froze, his expression a mixture of exasperation and disbelief. Grace, I know you're strong-willed and want to feel superior to Lily, but you don't need to tell such a grand lie. If that gets out, it'll be a joke, a huge joke. A man like Ethan would only say, Be my wife, and I will protect you with all my might. So, I said impatiently, Marcus, before I lose my temper, take your people and leave now, or don't blame me for being impolite. I'm here for afternoon tea today, not to watch you act like a clown. And a final reminder, there's no engagement between us, and we're not together. Marcus's face darkened at my words. Grace, I told you, don't joke about our wedding. Marcus's eyes turned dark as he stared at me, seemingly enraged. Seeing this, Lily said, Oh dear, Marcus, didn't you realize Grace is jealous? How about this, since it's my first time meeting Grace, and I didn't prepare anything, take this bracelet. Lily slipped an amethyst bracelet from her wrist and offered it, smiling sweetly. Marcus says fine jade nourishes a person. This bracelet has excellent clarity and is a vibrant light purple. Even though Grace is older than me, she can still wear it. Good jade suits everyone, doesn't it? Grace? I stared at her coldly, saying nothing. Marcus's expression softened, and he said reassuringly, Grace, just take it. It's only worth 100,000 or so. Not too valuable, but it's Lily's heartfelt gesture. It's certainly better than that simple silver bangle on your wrist. I couldn't help but laugh. I prefer subtlety, and Ethan personally crafted that silver bangle for me. Yet in their mouths, it's become worthless? Marcus's eyes weren't discerning enough. He didn't see the protective charms for good fortune engraved on the inner band. This item, with Ethan's name inscribed on it, would be priceless. Two fools. I'd lost my appetite and couldn't be bothered with afternoon tea, so I turned to leave. Grace, there's a limit to your temper tantrums. Marcus's patience ran out. He grabbed my wrist, roughly yanked off the silver bangle, and then slid Lily's amethyst bracelet onto my arm. How could you disregard Lily's thoughtful gesture? Wear it! It had been a long time since anyone dared to mess with me so brazenly. Annoyed, I slapped him across the face. Who gave you the right to take my silver bangle? Ethan outwardly agrees with everything I do, but secretly he's very possessive and prone to jealousy. If he knew the silver bangle he personally crafted had been snatched away, there's no telling how angry he'd get or what kind of scene he'd make. Marcus stared, dumbfounded. Then he forcibly straightened and snapped the open pure silver bangle. My heart sank, imagining's angry face. I knew this was bad. Just as I was about to snatch it back, Marcus threw the item out the window. How did I not know you liked this piece of junk? Don't tell me it was a gift from your lover. Lily tugged Marcus's sleeve with feigned concern. Marcus, don't say such unpleasant things. How could Grace be that kind of person? She deliberately raised her voice. Grace is a lady from the Hayes family. How could she possibly cheat? Gossip mongers gathered around, whispering, Oh, isn't that Grace? Wasn't her family's upbringing quite strict? Who knows? Isn't she getting exposed for cheating right now? I saw it coming. It looks like Grace was flaunting something her lover gave her, and it angered her fiancé. Lily, suppressing a smirk, feigned urgency. Grace, quickly explain. Everyone's misunderstanding. Otherwise, everyone will think you cheated, and Marcus will become a cuckold. Marcus also gripped my wrist tightly, his gaze heavy. I suddenly gave a faint smile and said, This silver bangle was personally engraved with protective charms by my husband and given to me. Husband? Marcus abruptly threw my hand away in a fit of rage, his voice hoarse. When did I ever give you something like this? Grace, you clarify this for me right now. Who the hell were you with during the time we were apart? Just then, one of my bodyguards came up from downstairs, holding the shattered silver bangle. Grace, the item has been retrieved. I motioned for him not to say more. My girlfriend Chloe, who was beside me, couldn't hold back. Grace, how can you tolerate these two? Why don't you tell Ethan? Chloe, calm down. With the recent board of directors reshuffle, although Ethan is sure to win, we can't afford to spread more rumors. I stared coldly at Marcus. No rush. Since this item means nothing in Marcus's eyes, then the family can just wait to pay the compensation. Marcus couldn't process much else. He glared fiercely at the bodyguard and asked, "What did you just call Grace?" Grace? Whose is she? Marcus finished, his face full of humiliation, as if I had made him a cuckold. The bodyguard remained silent. Marcus continued to guess. Lou? Lou what? Does that scoundrel's name have Lou in it? Is he a celebrity or some kept man who lives off his looks? Marcus gloomily approached me and whispered, "It doesn't matter. Even if you don't tell the truth, I'll find out who he is. When that happens, don't come pleading me." At his words, I chuckled. "I hope you won't be the one pleading me then," Marcus said with a fierce expression. "He's just some kept man you found. Do you think I wouldn't dare to touch him?" I smiled and said, "That depends on your ability." Marcus was furious, finding my behavior unusual. He narrowed his eyes and asked, "You slept with him?" I nodded. "Yes. How else would we have a child?" Marcus immediately started breathing heavily, pointed at me, and said with immense pain, "You're truly depraved. How could you just casually let a man defile you? Aren't you utterly shameless?" Lily quickly interjected, "Marcus, Grace was just momentarily confused. Don't be angry. Everyone's watching." Momentarily confused? She's simply vulgar, empty, and shameless, After roared. His face was beet red. "Tomorrow, you'll come with me for a checkup, and then a full body spa treatment. We must wash away that man's filthy scent." Marcus spoke as if heartbroken to the extreme. "Grace, this is a one-time thing. Don't let it happen again. If you dare to get involved with another man, I will deal with you severely. Don't think that just because I love you, I'm a man with no boundaries. I won't openly be a cuckold." "Fine. I know you're bothered by that past incident. All right. We're even now. From now on, no more talk. No more blame." Marcus's eyes were red. His voice choked. Finally, he took a deep breath and said, "After we're married, any contact or relationships you have must be approved by me. Also, your monthly spending limit will be 100,000. I nearly laughed with anger. Did he mean I wasn't precious anymore just because I was no longer a virgin? That he could manipulate me as he pleased? Hearing this, Lily stood behind him, secretly smiling. "Grace, you're really foolish. A girl's most important things are self-respect and self-love." I scoffed. "And how is your upbringing? Having climbed into a man's bed at 18. So good?" Lily was furious, but Marcus didn't wait for her and turned to leave. Lily stamped her foot and quickly chased after him. The next day, Marcus actually sent someone to take me for a physical exam. The person was Agnes. She probably watched too many TV dramas and actually believed that working in a wealthy household made her some kind of head housekeeper. She said to me, "A woman's most important quality is her purity." Before she could finish, a bodyguard dragged her out, showing her no respect at all. Agnes went back and tearfully complained to Marcus, making herself sound utterly pathetic. Marcus was livid, smashing several vases. "Let her throw her tantrums like a spoiled young lady. After we're married, I'll deal with her." Unfortunately, his elaborate plans fell apart. As promised, after giving birth, I was supposed to have a break to rest and reunite with my family. Ethan waited for over 20 days but couldn't help coming to pick me up early. It just so happened that day was Marcus's self-staged wedding. Marcus specifically gathered his friends, who drove a convoy of Lamborghinis and Cayennes. They deliberately revved their engines along the way, making it seem like a grand, ostentatious display. Marcus, dressed in a suit, personally knocked on the door. He smiled and said, "Richard, I'm here to pick up Grace." Richard had just returned from a business trip abroad. His expression was cold, and he said, exasperated, "It's been over 2 years. Are you really sick?" "Grace has already gone back to her husband's home." Marcus's smile froze. "Richard, I know you're still upset about what happened before and are deliberately joking with me. Today, I promise you here and now that I will never let Grace down. I will cherish her well. Richard, please let Grace come out. With so many people waiting, it wouldn't be good for others to make fun of us, would it? Richard, with a look that suggested Marcus was truly deranged, said in a deep voice, Grace is already married. How could she marry you? What's wrong with you? Can't you understand plain English? Originally, Marcus and I were childhood sweethearts, and Richard had high hopes for him, hoping he could take the reins of both our family's businesses in the future. Unexpectedly, 2 years ago, he caused such a scandal. He slept with the female student our family sponsored and even got her pregnant. The whole affair caused a huge uproar. I was privately ridiculed, and my father also lost face in the business world. So, how could he possibly be cordial to Marcus? And you still think you can marry my daughter? Don't you even look at yourself? A rotten person with no sense of responsibility, unable to control his impulses. Marcus flushed red from the humiliation, but he couldn't talk back to my father. Then something occurred to him. He said, Richard, are you forcing Grace to marry a man she doesn't love? Richard, you claim to cherish Grace, but aren't you just worried about her age, losing face, and eager to get her off your hands? Richard, you're mistaken. You know Grace's stubborn personality. How could she live a quiet, contented life with someone she doesn't love? Never mind. I won't mind Grace. As long as she changes her temper after the divorce, I'm still willing to marry her. Richard heard this and felt a little like laughing. Although and I quietly got married, the circles of the wealthy elite are never short on gossip. Moreover, I've always explicitly told him that I'm married into the family. How can he still be so confident that I'm waiting for him to rescue me? It seems he still believes that in the past, I loved him with sincere devotion. All right. You want to rescue my Grace, do you? Azure Estates. Section 9. Go ahead. But let me be clear, you're going to stir up trouble on your own. I'm not supporting you, and you'll bear any consequences yourself. Marcus nodded. He thought only those who merely pretended to be wealthy and powerful lived there, and that he, Marcus, still commanded some respect. Richard was simply too lazy to talk to an idiot, so he closed the door. Marcus then turned and got into his car, intending to rescue me, but to his surprise, the area was too restricted. Non-residents couldn't enter. Marcus remembered his father had a friend living there. Father, Grace is being forced to marry a man she doesn't love, and he's not treating her well. I have to save her. Can you pull some strings to get me into Azure? Robert nearly choked on his breath when he heard this. He had just returned from the sanatorium. You scoundrel. What nonsense are you spouting? You're incredibly foolish. Do you think Grace married some nobody? How are you still thinking about her? You shamelessly seduced Lily, that poor student, and now you want to covet Ethan's wife? Are you trying to get yourself killed? Marcus was thoroughly reamed out, his face full of disbelief. Father, what kind of joke are you playing? How could Grace possibly marry Ethan? Mother also said she got married to a nouveau riche. Slap, 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 scoundrel. Did those 3 slaps make you come to your senses? Robert roared. I'm warning you. Don't provoke Grace again. She's Ethan's wife. You can't afford to offend her. None of our family can. Understand? Ethan's wife? Marcus, his face swollen, murmured in disbelief. That evening, Lily returned home, purposely going to the bridal suite Marcus had prepared and changing into a red silk pajamas. Like a bride, she heard the door open, assumed it was me, and planned to disgust me. Instead, it was Marcus, his face swollen, his eyes vacant. Lily didn't see me behind him. Her heart bloomed with delight, and she greeted him with a pitiful expression. Marcus, is Grace upset that the display wasn't lavish enough? Those were your friend's top-tier luxury cars, specially brought out. Marcus couldn't be bothered to respond to her. He turned and went to his study. For 2 consecutive days, he didn't come downstairs to eat. Marcus remained constantly on edge, because was never someone easy to deal with. While feared retribution from Ethan, he also secretly yearned to see me. Perhaps it was the shock of loss that made sweet memories of our past constantly surface in his mind. In high school, when it suddenly rained, we ran together, huddled under one piece of clothing. In college, when we didn't have early classes, we'd wake up early to hike and watch the sunrise. And on my sophomore birthday, he said, Grace, we'll get married right after graduation. From school crushes to walking down the aisle. Sweet forever. I was incredibly moved, shedding tears as I reached out to hug him. Just then, the sun came out, and the first ray of light caught my hair, making me especially captivating. What man doesn't have a memory of a tall, slender girl with long dark hair, dressed in white, with a captivating smile? The me of that time was the one he idealized, deep in Marcus's heart. But with time, his first love became as common as plain rice. Marcus grew accustomed to my presence and also took it for granted. Because I loved him, I tolerated him endlessly, and I would always stand behind him, waiting for him, accompanying him. The more Marcus thought about it, the more unbearable he found it. He struggled to breathe, his eyes filled with the pain of losing me. Lily truly loved money, and she truly loved him. When she had someone break down the door, Marcus collapsed from weakness due to his hunger strike. Marcus, don't scare me, don't scare me. There's a charity auction tonight, and Grace will be there too. Marcus was unconscious for a moment. Hearing this, he said, call the family doctor to give me a shot. Tonight, get ready to accompany me. The family doctor quickly arrived to give him an injection, and Marcus also managed to eat some light chicken broth. Afterward, he and Lily dressed up, determined to show off in front of me. Marcus was not bad looking, standing at 6 feet tall. After sprucing himself up, and having slimmed down from his hunger strike, he had a certain Balenciaga-esque elegance. Inwardly, Lily resented and envied Marcus's focus on me, yet she obediently changed into a matching evening gown. As if remembering something, Marcus pressed her shoulders and said, Lily, the attendees at this charity auction are all extraordinary. It wouldn't be appropriate for you to appear with me. Don't go. Marcus, Lily understands she's a poor student and doesn't deserve to stand beside you. Previously, Marcus would have comforted her not to underestimate herself, but people grow tired of hearing it too often. All right, it's not your first day knowing you come from a common background. If our family hadn't sponsored you, how could you possibly interact with high society? Although has a difficult temper, she is genuinely a young lady of stature. It's normal that you can't compare to her. It was the first time Lily heard Marcus speak his true feelings, and she was so struck that her eyes welled up with tears. This time, she was genuinely heartbroken. She never imagined that the person who always claimed everyone was equal and that no one would dare look down on her with him by her side, actually despised her from the start. Lily's throat choked up. Losing her composure, she pressed, Marcus, you think I'm not presentable? Do you regret being with me? This time, Lily's tears were real, and they were painful. She pressed her questions almost as if her heart was being torn out. Marcus was already tired of her tears. Seeing them, his face remained cold. Why are you always crying? If you cry your eyes out, are you going to blame me for it? Regret? Do you have the nerve to ask me that? Who is it who always chased after me calling me brother? Who is it who constantly copied Grace's college outfits? I gave you face by not exposing it. Did you really think our beginning was wonderful? I'm telling you, from now on, you must watch your words and actions, or get out. After speaking, Marcus left without a trace of mercy. Lily, unconcerned with her lavish evening gown, collapsed to the floor. She sobbed uncontrollably. She had seduced Marcus to climb the social ladder, but she also genuinely liked him. She never expected her sincere feelings to be met with Marcus's cruel words. Lily's eyes slowly hardened with resentment. Marcus, striding away purposefully, was completely unaware. Ethan didn't need to investigate closely. Plenty of people kept him informed of my whereabouts, especially with such a huge scene, but he didn't like to confront me first. So he moved to the study, waiting for me to bring up the matter. Once I realized this, I wanted to talk to him, but I didn't know how. Ethan, has your company been very busy lately? Ethan put down his tablet and looked up at me. Grace, isn't there something you want to tell me? Meeting his gaze, I felt a little afraid. His endearment was still clingy, but his tone was distant. Ethan had been in a high position for too long. I didn't have the courage to lie to him. My eyes read. I walked over to him and said with a sense of grievance, don't you know? He and I have known each other since childhood. We started dating in high school, during our first flush of romance. Then in college, he grew tired of me, and we broke up. Who knew he'd regret it now? He had the nerve to flaunt his $900,000 in cash as a substantial gift for the family to us. Didn't he know the substantial gift you gave my family was $99,999,000? You and he are worlds apart. Anyone with eyes can see who to choose. Besides, I've always really liked you. And we have a child. As I spoke, I genuinely felt a little wronged. I felt Ethan's attitude was hurting me. Tears welled in my eyes. And I said tearfully, "You're so good to me. I'm not some heartless person. How could I possibly betray you? But you don't trust me at all. And that makes me a little sad." Ethan wiped my tears, pulled me into his arms, genuinely bothered by the situation. "All right. I haven't said anything. You're doing all the talking. How do you know I don't trust you? I'm angry about the bracelet too. The bangle I personally crafted for you, engraved with protective charms for good fortune. He broke it, and you kept it from me. Of course I'm angry. These are all minor things. I'm not angry anymore. Don't cry." Hearing that, I thought the matter was settled. Happily, I wrapped my arms around his neck, whispering sweet nothings to appease him. To my surprise, that evening, the ever-busy Ethan accompanied me to the charity auction. Whether on purpose or not, Marcus and Lily were seated at the table next to ours. Marcus stared at me with wistful devotion, his eyes filled with longing, as if afraid people wouldn't notice the history between us. Ethan's expression was cold, already showing clear displeasure. I felt somewhat on pins and needles. "Ethan, I'm going to the restroom." Ethan nodded. No sooner had I left than Marcus followed me. I was utterly annoyed, thinking he was asking for trouble. "Marcus, are you crazy or out of your mind? Isn't Ethan accompanying me to this dinner enough to dispel your foolish notions? Do you want to be targeted by the family? Or do you want Ethan to simply crush you and your entire family?" Marcus gave a bitter laugh, his voice hoarse. "Grace, I don't want to live if I can't have you." I closed my eyes in irritation and said coldly, "Realizing what you lost only after losing it means nothing. What happened between us became impossible the moment you slept with Lily, the moment you were with Lily for childbirth, the moment you chose to keep Lily and her child. What were you thinking? Do you believe Grace, am so utterly spineless that I would forgive you?" As I spoke, I swung my hand and slapped Marcus. I was trembling with rage. Lowering my voice, I roared, "I already have a good life, a good husband. What makes you think your casual pestering and flirting could ever move me? I did indeed hate you because I loved you in the past, but now I simply loathe you. You sicken me. If you ever appear before me again, I'm not sure I won't use Ethan's influence to utterly destroy you." Marcus first laughed at my words, then knelt on the ground. "Grace, you admitted it. You admitted you once loved me, so you could fall in love with me again, or rather, continue to love me, couldn't you? Grace, as long as you divorce Ethan, I'll immediately send Lily and the child abroad. We'll be together forever, and no one will ever bother us again." I was practically laughing with anger. I genuinely believed Marcus had lost his mind. Marcus, still on his knees, moved closer to me step by step, saying excitedly, "Grace, I am sick. I'm sick because I love you, because I miss you. Only you can cure me. Grace, come with me. Come with me. You love me. Only me. Only I can give you true love." Marcus. Ethan cut him off coldly. Ethan, nearly 6 feet 3 inches tall, looked down at Marcus with a chilling, condescending gaze. "Just recently you were groveling and begging the family for a collaboration, and now you're here coveting my wife. Should I say you're extraordinarily brave? Or utterly foolish? You're so confident you can give her love. Yet have you considered that the heart beating in your chest could be crushed in the next second?" Ethan's face was a mask of frost, his undisguised killing intent almost scorching me standing beside him. Since we got married, I had only occasionally seen him treat members of the board of directors with such coldness. At the time, I didn't understand why those board members were so terrified. Now I understood. Marcus must understand too. His body swayed precariously, yet he still seemed determined to court disaster. "Ethan, I know you're formidable, but Grace doesn't love you. If you truly love her, then let her be with me." Ethan suddenly let out a laugh, when his strikingly handsome, almost sharp face was touched by a smile. It appeared eerily sinister. "Grace, do you also want to leave me and go with him?" I felt struck by lightning. I quickly said, "How could I? You haven't even taken me on the honeymoon trip you promised. Why would I leave? Didn't we say we'd live a pastoral life in a lakeside cabin in the mountains when we become an old couple?" Ethan's expression remained impassive, so I continued, "I wouldn't leave you even if it meant leaving our child. You're so tall and handsome. I liked you the moment we first met. Oh, I forgot to tell you. You're exactly like the prince from my childhood dreams. How could I ever give you up? Ethan's lips curved upward at my words. I'm the prince from your dreams? Marcus was overwhelmed with shock and fury. In high school, I had also told him I dreamed of Prince. He laughed at my childlike innocence. He even said he was my prince, and the man whose face I couldn't see in my dream was fake. Now that I admitted it was Ethan, his heart felt like it was being ripped open by a knife. Marcus went mad, suddenly bursting into laughter. His laughter was wild and pathetic. Grace, didn't you say in college that you hated overbearing and controlling men who wield power the most? Have you changed now? Grown worldly? Yes. Ethan comes from a top-tier wealthy family, and his abilities are exceptional. So are you groveling and flattering, whispering sweet words to coax him? So if I had been born into the family, you would have appeased me like this too, wouldn't you? Hearing that, I truly wished I could slap Marcus to death. Was he trying to get himself killed and drag me down with him? Ethan narrowed his eyes, then slowly said, setting aside power and status, I've lived a virtuous life for 30 years. Grace was the first woman I was with. Can you say the same? All property under my name belongs to Grace. If I cheat, I'll leave with nothing, and all my future earnings will still go to Grace. Can you do that? You talk about college days. I liked her when she was in college, but you were by her side, and she loved you. Of course, I could have forced her to turn and love me instead, but I watched you two love each other for 4 years, and I didn't use my power to interfere. Could you, Marcus, do that? I respected her from beginning to end, waited for her. I wouldn't force her to deeply love me. I would keep waiting for her. Marcus, what do you have to compete with me? To win against me? Ethan said calmly, unhurriedly. This string of words stunned me and moved me deeply. I gazed at Ethan silently. I never realized that what I thought was merely marrying an arranged partner was actually him taking 99 steps towards me. In my eyes, our relationship naturally progressed. In his eyes, we traveled through 1,000 mountains and rivers to finally achieve our destiny. My nose tingled, and my heart ached unbearably. If it weren't for Marcus, if we weren't in public, I truly would have hugged him. Someone like Ethan, who received an elite education from a young age, wasn't allowed to show favoritism or personal affections, yet was expected to excel at everything. He also needed to cultivate a hardened heart, yet he had silently loved me for so long. My current feeling wasn't just gratitude, because I loved him just as much now. So I felt a mixture of tenderness and contentment. I hadn't chosen the wrong person. The man I loved me back. I finally couldn't help but hug him. It wasn't that I hadn't seen Ethan before, but he was too dazzling, too aloof, so I had always kept my distance from him. Marcus watched this scene, then collapsed to the ground, his heart shattered. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support is the greatest motivation for us to share more stories of women's power. This is Love and Fist.